Let me add a little sound to this. By the things of this world. We say one thing with our mouths, so let's be honest here. But deep in our hearts, we don't believe what we're saying. We're just saying it because it sounds good. You know, it reminds me of those among us who constantly use, I'm waiting on Yah, I'm waiting on Yahuwah. Yahuwah said many, many times, my word is my bond, my word is my truth, my Torah is what you're going to hear. As a matter of fact, you can't even talk to Yahuwah without referring to his Torah. And when I say referring to his Torah, it's being taught his Torah and praying inside of the boundaries of his Torah. That is Proverbs, 28 and 9. I'm not going to reemphasize that. What am I saying? I'm saying again, brothers and sisters, that it is time for us to refocus. Our people in particular are under the arrest. And I'm talking about Israel. I'm not talking about blackity, black. That's most of the melanated people are not Israel. I've said that to you before. They are not Israel. They may be of the continent, Africa, or wherever they call it, and maybe they originated, right along with us, but they're not Israel. Israel is a chosen nation selected exclusively by Yahuwah. And if you have a problem with that, then why don't you take some time and go read what Isaiah shared with us that Yahuwah told him in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43. Why don't you take some time and read it carefully. Read it very slow and see if he's not identifying who are those who belong to Yahuwah. And he doesn't emphasize strangers and heathens. Matter of fact, he says nothing about strangers and heathens. But there are some among Israel that they love the stranger and they love the heathen to the point that they're going to find themselves burning right along with those damned heathens. You go over to the book of Daniel. Daniel, again, is not talking to the stranger. Daniel is not talking to the heathen. Go read Daniel chapter 12. What does he emphasize to us? That in the last days, our intellect has to be increased. Our knowledge has to increase. That our wisdom has to increase. If your wisdom is the wisdom of the past, if your wisdom is the wisdom of that you were taught in religion, then you're not wise. You think you're wise. You're sounding wise. Again, like so many of our people. We have these elegant voices and we have all of these, prompts, all these little, gadgets that we use to integrate into what it is that they're being said. I shouldn't say we, some of them. I know most of our people are laymen. You're out, you're out there, you're working, you're putting in the work. And there's nothing wrong with that. Your brother put in the work 40 years. So I'm not going to talk negative about those who are out there grinding to keep food on your table. But what I am saying, you cannot be caught up in concerning yourself with a future, brothers and sisters, that just flat out does not exist. Not in the way of that many of us saw. If you're over 40 years old, you saw a future, or an illusion of one anyway. But I'm saying to you, if you're over 40, you ought to be wise enough now to be able to look out. You ought to be able to project out and then also reflect back and realize that future is gone. If nothing else, artificial intelligence is clearly indicating to you that it's gone. Most of the things that most of our people are doing right now are going to be replaced. Things that you do to survive. What do you think is going to happen to everybody who loses their opportunity to survive? Their work. What do you think is going to happen when starvation is the order of the day? If you go back in our book, and I want to say it's First Kings or whatever, Brother Adrian is a good soldier. Brother Adrian, you can look that up, and I want you to look up for us and just put it, in the comment section where you had these two mothers, and when one of our kings were coming by, and I want to say this is First Kings chapter 3, but again, don't hold me to that. But these two mothers are reaching out to the king as he passes by this wall, and they're complaining to him. You know what their complaint is about, brothers and sisters? That one of them borrowed their child because they were starving, and they ate the child. Then the next day, the other one was supposed to boil her child, but refused to do so. That's how bad it was. And yet, our people, when you say this kind of stuff, everybody, oh, brother, you being negative. Oh, you using fear. Look, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call me whatever you want to call me, an old fool. You can call me whatever the hell you want to call me, but I know who I am before Abba Yah. I don't give a rat's ass what you got to say about that. But if you really are as smart as you claim to be, you better be checking out the word and see what the word is saying and then match it up to what your brother is saying. I'm not speaking from my opinion. This is revelation that Abba Yah is revealing to all of us, but some of us are too damn preoccupied to see it. But for those of us who see it, then our responsibility is just as Isaiah said in 58:1, cry aloud, spare not, warn Israel about what is to come. That is all I am doing. But too many of Israel are so caught up in the cares of this life that they have no idea of what's lurking in the very, very near future. Have you asked yourself the question, how are you going to defend yourself when things get so bad? Where it's a situation like those two mothers who were fighting over which one was going to eat which one's child? Have you even given that any consideration? If something like that is to happen again, and it's prophesied all through the book, starvation, 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 diseases, 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 war, war, war. And what are all people doing? Slow walking it. Well, I'm waiting on the Lord. I will tell you, brothers and sisters, if you have people around you who are using that, then it's probably time to cut those people out of your life. It's time to, what's the word? It's calling. Like when you, I guess it's called, I think I shouldn't use the word if I can't pronounce it properly. But if you're growing a plant and weeds are growing around that plant, you call the plant. It's time to call that out. Get rid of them. Cut them out. Don't encourage them. Don't entertain them. Don't validate them. Leave them to their own means. If they want to trust man, let them trust man. If that's what they think that their salvation is in man, although they profess that their salvation is in Abba Yah, no, your salvation is where you put your trust. And where you put your trust is how you live your life. So what I'm saying to my brothers and sisters, those, the 1/3 of Israel, the 1/3 of the 1/3, probably even a better way to say it. Brothers and sisters, it is time to prepare. Get your house in order. Get with a tribe. You're going to need a tribe. You're not going to be able to do this alone. No one has to listen to the watchman. No one has to listen to us. And you don't have to listen to us. But just remember, you were warned. You were warned. But many, again, we're so preoccupied about, what's the next event coming up, or what somebody said, or what somebody has done, and whose graduation is coming up, and whatever it is that got you distracted. I am saying to you, that is an illusion of truth. Even though it may come to pass, the thing you're planning for, but it will do you no good. It will do you absolutely no good in the very near future. All that stuff you're worrying about, all that stuff you're concerning yourself about, I'm talking about the issues and the cares of this life. This is a time, I'm saying to you, whether you are with find like-minded believers and then commit yourself. I'm going to say this to you again, brothers and sisters. You need to find, if you're wise, okay, if you're doing your thing, then obviously I'm not talking to you, because I've already said, the book has already said what's going to happen. But I'm talking to you, the wise amongst us. Those of you who know better. those of you who know that your brother is right, those of you who are spending time in the book, in the Tanakh, in the Torah, those of you, I'm saying to you, get your house in order. Align yourself up, and I'm talking about committing ourselves one to another, that we're so locked in together that nothing will pull us apart. Nothing. See how that looks? I'm talking about that kind of locked in. Because anything else, including this, is not going to help you in the times of trouble. It's not going to help you in the time of trouble. If Abiyah has already, Yahuwah has said, this is what you need to do, come out, separate yourself. Organize yourself. Store up resources. Get other resources to defend what you have stored up. Find again like-minded Israelites. I know the heathens are prepping out there, but the heathens are prepping to get themselves together to defend themselves, not against what's to come. They're defending themselves against us. They're preparing for us. They're not preparing for the return of Abiyah. They're prepared. And go to those prepping channels. I'm talking about the heathen ones. The non-melanated ones. Go to their channels. They're prepping too. But they're wanting each other to get ready for us, for Israel. Oh, they're going to give the impression that somehow Israel is going to come looking for their stuff. No, brothers and sisters, that is not the way of the heathen. The heathen are going to get in their own tribes, and then they're going to be predators. They're going to go out just like their ancestors, and they're going to look to conquer, to slaughter, to rape, to pilferage, and to destroy. And some of our Israelite sisters and brothers still have this Abiyah loved everybody mentality, and you're going to cry a lot of tears for your lack of understanding when the time or when that truth came to your attention and you rejected it. You know, if you've been following this channel, I did a little series on the book of Maccabees about this mother, this old elder men, these brothers. And the whole essence of that was showing that when you, first of all, we have no business interacting with these heathens like this, making these covenants with them, making these deals with them. But it showed because they did it. Go back and read Maccabees chapter 1. You're going to see that Israelites, wicked Israelites, convinced other Israelites that their best chance was to associate or attach themselves to heathens because the heathens could provide for them. They would have a better life if they stuck with the heathens, and those heathens turned right back around and came after them, and before the day was done, or before the time was done, were putting them in skillets, frying them and eating them, and a whole bunch of other things in between. And that is exactly what's going to happen to any of our brothers and sisters. History will repeat itself. You know why? Because you're trusted in them. And some of our people, they don't want to put in any hard work, so they take the easy way out. Well, let me just find some way to justify what I'm doing and then say that Abiyah is blessing me. Abiyah don't bless you with wicked. He's not going to bless us with no heathens. That's not the way that works. Well, no, I'm just going to use it as a stepping stone. Yeah, but how long are you going to be going up them steps? Don't you know at some point you have to reach the destination? Some of our people have been walking up the steps for 20, 30 years. And they still can't seem to realize that they're going nowhere. That is a judgment. I don't care what they want to call it, that is a judgment against them. Abiyah has already given them over, most likely. Not maybe in every situation, but most likely you're probably already reprobated. And that's why you're not doing anything other than what you're doing. Spinning your wheels, moving fast, and going absolutely nowhere. Ever knowing, but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. You know why? Because you rather believe a lie. And what's that lie? Everybody is on our side. Everybody loves Abba Yah, or because I think they love Abba Yah. Who are you to think for Abba Yah? See, that's the arrogance in our people. That's what got King Saul in trouble with the king of Amalek. He started to say, well, I can do all these things, but I don't have to do everything. Because after all, Abba Yah is going to honor this covenant. He's gonna respect the fact that I'm in it, but I'm not really all the way in it. And what he said to Saul, you are rebellious, you're a witchcraft, you're a warlock, you're a wizard, you're a sorcerer, you're an idolater. And many of our people are Saul. Spiritual Sauls, male Sauls and female Sauls. And I'm not talking about transgenderism here. I'm talking about an evil mindset. By putting on Abba Yah things that Abba Yah never told you to place on him. He wanted you to come out, to separate yourself. You just not conflate his word and make it work for you because you're comfortable. Yah didn't tell us we were going to be comfortable on this evil earth here. We're supposed to be very uncomfortable here. We should be praying that Yah would get us out of here, not sitting here complacent and content, distracted by whatever that distracts you. And let me say this too, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. If you're using the Torah and the Tanakh as justification for not, being active and following Abba Yah's direction, then you're wicked. You are wicked. You're being led by a demon spirit. Because this word is to direct you. This word is not for something you to just sit around all day long and just look at and think about and pray about it. You're supposed to be actively doing what this word says. The book is an instruction manual for Israel. It's not for comfortable reading. This is an instruction manual. Are you following the instruction? Because if you're following the instruction, then you would already be aligning yourself in these last days with like-minded people, taking action, getting ready, and doing something about it. Not talking about it, not thinking about it, not constantly praying about it. When we were warned in 2 Chronicles 7:14, what did it say? If Abba Yah people would humble themselves and pray and then seek his face and turn from your wickedness. What is wickedness? Anything that's a violation of the Torah. A little drop, a little leaven leavens the whole lot. So it does not matter. If you are in violation of this Torah, then you are in wickedness. Turn from their wickedness, right? And then seek Abba Yah's face. You know what seeking his face means? Doing it. Not just thinking about it, not just praying about it, not just reading about it, but actually doing something about it. He said, then will I forgive your sin, and then will I restore you or heal your land. And I'm going to leave it right there. You do with that what you might, brothers and sisters. And this is all over this flat earth. If it applies to you, then get up off your butt and do something about it. Instead of sitting there, pointing fingers and say, well, I don't appreciate this, I don't appreciate that. Who gives a damn about what any of us think about anything? It is Abba Yah's word that rules the day. And only Abba Yah's word, Yahuwah word that rules the day. And what is his word? His Torah is his word. Not your opinion, not how you feel or what you think or your rationalization or our justification. Because that is the problem with Israel. It's always been our problem. Abba Yah brings us out or shows us a way out, and then we start talking about where my leeks and where my onions at. I liked it better when I was in Egypt. I liked it better when I was with the heathens because the heathens make my life more comfortable. That doesn't sound familiar? Oh, that's in Exodus. Abba Yah took our people out, and what did our people do? They started complaining about the things that they lacked because they didn't want to put in their work. So they started saying, I'd rather just stay over there where I was. Let me be comfortable amongst the heathens. And if you know the book, you know exactly what he did. He didn't take that lightly. He didn't say, well, I understand. Just keep praying. Just keep seeking my face. Just keep reading about me. Just keep reflecting about me. That's not what he said. He got hot about it. Oh, he started taking lives. And if it were not for Moshe, who said, Abiyah, stop, don't do this. A heathen's going to be saying, you only brought these people out here to destroy them. That was the only reason he stopped taking heads. And most of our people don't have a Moshe because you don't even respect his messengers. So you're just doing your own thing and then saying, well, if Abiyah, like he didn't leave a map. Like he didn't leave a direction manual for you to follow and to implement. But that's okay. Because see, when you're in a situation like those two mothers who are sitting out there talking about which child is going to be for dinner, then you're going to remember. Then you're going to realize, hey, when Abiyah gave me the chance to journey with like-minded people, to be a part of a people who are teaching the truth and not mixing it with lies, then you will remember that you should have taken heed. But it's going to be too late. There is such a thing that's called too late. What did our brother say? Solomon said, Abiyah in Proverbs chapter 1, he said, Abiyah is going to laugh at you in your time of trouble. Because he was trying to warn you, he was talking to you, but you blew it off. You blew it off. And you rationalized it to yourself. There's a way that seems right to a man, but that way will send you to death. That's Proverbs 14 and 12. Solomon, the wisest man on earth, is constantly, he's got many parts inside of our Torah and inside of our Tanakh to help us to remember, don't fall into the trap of the past. Stop living in the past. Stop waiting. You have to act. When Noah told us folks to get up on that, to start repenting and turn back to Yah and start building and getting ready and come out. They did not listen to him until it was far too late. And then they all of a sudden they want to say, I'm ready. But what did Noah tell them? Sorry. Too late. You can repent all you want. He said, you had 5 years. For 5 years, I was telling you. Some of our people have been stuck for decades and doing absolutely nothing but what they were doing. And somehow confused or let the enemy come in and tell them that's the way to Yah. It's not the way to Yah. The way to Yah is coming out, building with Israel, preparing yourself for the evil times that we're in, and to assure that your children and your children's children, are safe as well. Your grandchildren, if you have them. Teaching them, leading them, and bringing them out. Not sitting there around the campfire, roasting mushrooms, singing, Bible songs. That's all I got to say. You do what you want to do, brothers and sisters. I'm not your judge. We all are being judged. But just remember, your life is the judge. What you do or what you're not doing, that's what's going to judge all of us. And what I'm saying is that we're still here sitting complacent, and these demons are pushing every kind of evil spirit out here. And the worst spirit that they can have, the most dangerous of all their spirits, is complacency. Everything seems all right. The normacy. Same thing over and over. It's what they call that, what's the word? Cognitive dissonance, right? Comfortable, lies for uncomfortable truth. They'd rather have the comfort than stand on Abiyah's truth. Excuse my nose. Cognitive dissonance, convenient lies for uncomfortable truth. Well, I'm giving you the uncomfortable truth. Now what you going to do about it? If you're with us tonight in the Bible study, talk to you then. DFG, bye now.